Ever wondered how an 18th century philosopher's ideas could influence our modern education system? Picture this: a man named Jean-Jacques Rousseau, born in the dawn of the Enlightenment era, crafting a unique philosophy of education. His radical ideas, outlined in his work Emile, were considered revolutionary, challenging the status quo. In Rousseau's view, education is not just about facts and figures. Instead, it's an intricate journey of self-discovery and understanding the world around us. He believed that the role of education is to nurture the natural man within us, a concept we'll delve into more in the next scene. Rousseau's philosophy, though formulated centuries ago, still resonates today. We see echoes of his ideas in our emphasis on experiential learning and child-centered education. Dive into the world of Rousseau, where education is not just a system, but an expedition into the self. As we journey through this enigma, we'll uncover how Rousseau's ideas continue to shape our understanding of education. Imagine an education system where the student is free to explore and learn from nature and society. Picture this: a world where the classroom isn't confined by four walls, but is the universe itself, where the syllabus isn't dictated by dusty old textbooks, but is as dynamic as life itself. Welcome to the educational philosophy of Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the 18th century philosopher who dared to challenge the status quo. Rousseau firmly believed that education should not just be about rote learning and rigid examinations. Instead, he advocated for an education that is grounded in experience and the exploration of nature. He envisioned a learning process where students are encouraged to follow their natural abilities and interests, to learn at their own pace, to stumble and fall, only to rise stronger. Rousseau saw the traditional education systems of his time as outdated and stifling, chains that bound the free spirit of the child. He argued that these systems did more harm than good, suppressing the child's natural curiosity and creativity. Instead of fostering a love for learning, they instilled fear and compliance. In essence, Rousseau was not just an advocate for education, but for freedom, for the liberation of the child's mind from the clutches of a system that sought to mold it into a standard shape. His philosophy of education was a clarion call for a revolution, a plea for a system that nurtures the child's individuality and natural instincts. In Rousseau's world, the classroom is the universe itself. What if education's true purpose was to create a natural man? A question that Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the 18th century philosopher, grappled with and famously addressed in his work Emile. For Rousseau, the natural man is not the one molded by societal norms and expectations, but the one who is in tune with his own nature, a person who is self-reliant and individualistic. Rousseau believed in a philosophy of education that cultivates this natural man. It's not about cramming information or following a prescribed curriculum. Instead, it's about fostering a sense of curiosity, encouraging exploration, and developing a deep respect for the natural world. In this approach, learning is not a passive act of absorbing facts, but an active pursuit of knowledge. It's about understanding the world through personal experience and introspection. It's about growing into an individual who is not swayed by the crowd, but stands firm on his own beliefs and convictions. Rousseau's natural man is not a product of his environment, but a product of his own mind, his own experiences, and his own understanding. He learns not because he is told to, but because he wants to. He is not shaped by the world, but shapes the world around him with his unique perspective. For Rousseau, education is the key to becoming a natural man, a being in harmony with nature and self. Rousseau's philosophy of education, an outdated idea or a revolutionary concept? This question often stirs up a storm in the academic sphere. His philosophy, penned in the 18th century, still holds considerable sway over modern educational theories and practices. It's hard to deny that Rousseau's concept of natural education has been a beacon of inspiration for progressive education movements worldwide. It advocates for a child-centered approach where learning is driven by curiosity rather than a rigid curriculum. However, it's not all roses. Critics often question the practicality of his ideas in today's structured education systems. Some argue that Rousseau's philosophy, while idyllic, fails to prepare students for the realities of the modern world. Despite these debates, Rousseau's philosophy of education, a journey of self-discovery and learning through experience, continues to challenge and inspire us. As he once said, "Plants are shaped by cultivation and men by education."